What's going on, guys? Bonafide Hustler here. Anyway, streaming live on a Wednesday. Beautiful day outside here in Austin, Texas. Decided to do an open Q&A regarding eBay, Amazon, antique booth, Craigslist, whatever you guys want to talk about, including if you want to go personal questions, that's cool too. But anyways, I'm the Bonafide Hustler. I reside in Austin, Texas. I've been flipping stuff I find from garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, big box stores. Been putting on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, my antique booth. At one time, I was doing it full time. Now I do it part time because I've started a company called the Green Room University, and it's a place where we talk all things thrifting, right? So, anyways, I'm in that group heavily throughout the day, and anyway, so hopefully you can go check it out. It is the second link down below. Yeah, go check it out. And of course, we do have a Green Room show tonight on Rakin's channel where we're going to interview a 24-year-old person that's cranking out good numbers on Amazon. Anyways, go check it out. It's tonight on Rakin's channel. Okay, so let me make sure everything sounds pretty good. You guys got to help me out. Let me know. And sorry, I had to like scratch my face and I didn't want to do it on camera. But anyways, it's good to see everybody. I want to make sure I sound good. Mike Raleigh, he's already beating me to the question. Sound is good before you ask. We have Chanta, Henry S., Darren Eckelman, Lauren, Mike Raleigh, 14 Amelina, Heather Reynolds. Well, never mind. So I wanted to give a special thanks to Henry S., who's in the chat. I have a postcard from Henry S. from probably like a year or two ago. And basically, yeah, so I can read the postcard really quickly. It says, "Hey, dear Chris, oh my God, thank you so much for the book. I can now hustle with muscle. I will give you a shout out on my measly channel. Best of luck and happy holidays ahead. Henry S." So that was not last Christmas, but the Christmas before. Anyway, so it's always good to get some, interesting subscriber or AKA fan mail, whatever you want. And he did, I think, win my book, or maybe he bought it. I'm not 100% sure. All right, so let's go into the Q&A. Let's get into if you guys have questions or anything like that, even if it has to do with ride-alongs, like how I film them, my entire garage sale outlook. We can talk about all that kind of stuff on this show. So 14 Amelina, this is a good one. This is a good one because I'm going to be just straight up honest with you guys. How do you set personal goals and maintain them? And this is a really tough question because, when I look at my personal goals, and one of my personal goals was achieved today, right? And that is, and one of the things I'm trying to do every single day is to work a little bit on this next project that I've been working on, and a little bit being every single day I got to like get further into the project. So today, what I accomplished with the project was I actually started officially the LLC here in Texas and got all the stuff ready for IRS, things that I can show up to the bank with, to get an account opened up with, a line of credit, loans, whatever I need. To get this next private label business started. And it has to do with, how do I say? It has to do with clothing, right? It's going to deal with clothing. It's going to deal with activewear. It's going to be propelled through, Instagram, my YouTube channel, the other YouTube channel, which I will be going live after this show, by the way, on the other one. But I finally got somewhere with that one, right? Like I've been going back and forth with graphic designers, and I have at least 14 different designs that will eventually find their way on shirts. I've been working hard last week with getting the perfect hats made and everything like that, to where there's a lot of big things coming around the corner, but it takes a lot of time. So to answer the question, how do I get somewhere with my goals? I try to do something every single day regarding that goal. And it's one of those things like, if you look at 2.5 decades ago when I started working out, is one of those things where I just did it almost every single day, and I made sure that this was something that I wanted to do, and I got really good at it. I mean, it's, you can't suck at something that you do nearly every single day. You can't. But if you don't do something every single day that's towards your destiny or your passion, then you will suck at it. You will suck really bad at it, and you'll never get your dreams accomplished. So, this other private label company with the activewear and everything, it's one of my dreams, and I am going to achieve it. That's just the way it is. So I have to work at it every single day, just a little bit, even if it's a tiny bit. Even on the weekend, you get done with your entire weekend, spending time with family, whatever you want to do, you got to make some effort that day to get that thing, one step closer to being coming to fruition, should I say. So that's how I kind of do it. I do have boards all over this room that you guys can't see. There's one over there, there's one over there, there's one over there that I need to redo, to where it can be like a daily reminder, like, hey, these are the goals that you got to get done. I like to work with three kind of small goals, and they don't have to deal with a company. They can deal with something else, but I like to have 3 goals to get done throughout the day that doesn't have to do with working out, because that's just going to happen regardless. It doesn't have to do with other stuff. It could be like cleaning a piece of the house. It could be, taking care of something at the bank. It could be a lot of stuff. So, as long as I get 3 really good things done a day, that's pretty good. Okay. So Darren Eckelman says, hey, I found a white Super Lock Serger sewing machine. Do I ever hustle sewing machines? I hustle White Industry, Singer, those kind of old-ish sewing machines. Now, there's big money to be made in the sewing machines that he's talking about, sergers, which are more, they're like cutting type machines. If sergers are like, they're not industrial, but my mom used to have a serger back in the day, and then she also had like a Bernina with like the touch screen and the cards that you put in the side. So there's a lot of money to be made in that kind of stuff. It's a little foreign to me. I mean, I do know how to like lace up a sewing machine to get it like testing and everything, but I usually never do it because it's just not worth my time. So I let, I basically put untested or found it in a estate sale, even if I put it on Craigslist, which is where it usually goes, there or to my local antique booth, right? The old ones, which I definitely don't know if those work perfect or not, but it's more of a decoration piece or something that someone can work on. But yeah, when it comes to current day sewing machines, I know when to strike hard at it. But the only thing is, like, when you go to garage sales in this town or estate sales, you never see them. You never see any like really good current day ones. You'll always see those like handheld ones that are like really dumb, or you'll see some of the like the entry level ones that are out there like Singers. But I know to look for really good ones. I just don't ever come across them. So anyway. But yeah, my mom used to have a serger. That thing was like really cool. Corey Gooddry, have I ever had and maintained 1,000 items on eBay? I've never had that happen. So I try to keep anywhere between 1 to 150 at all times. That's just what I can deal with at this point with all the other stuff that's going on in my life. That's like the only thing I can't do any. I could probably do maybe up to 200, but still, it's one of those things like every single morning I try to ship out my stuff on the way to the gym. And I put 2-day shipping or 2-day handling, but I usually do 1 day and I'm just working on making sure that that is sustainable, because yeah, I can go to 500 or I can go to 300 or I can go to 1,000, but I'm also the kind of guy who wants to put, how do I say it? 150 quality items, right? It's better to have 150 quality items than 500 like long tail items. Anybody can put anything they want on eBay, right? If you have a limit or listing limit or any of that kind of stuff, you can reach that by putting up junk, but you can also, test yourself by putting in quality stuff as well. And quality stuff, usually that's the better one to chase, because it's tougher to get to a certain milestone or a number because you're dealing with the sales every day. And that's why I like the 100 to 150, because it allows me, a couple sales a day or more, and it's manageable. So that's why I like it that way. But you got to understand that I have a lot of other things going on in the background. And, if I could handle 1,000, I'd probably have to be hiring people out and this and that. And plus, I'd probably have to have strangers in my house doing things. And I don't know if I want that right now. But I'm not saying I'm against it. It's just like my passion lies with another project right now. So anyway, have I ever sold Hot Wheels on Amazon? No. I picked up a bunch for 94 cents each. A lot of things with when you deal with Amazon, you deal with, last time I dealt with Hot Wheels, there's like a SKU for like sometimes 20 or 30 different Hot Wheels, which really sucks, because the person on Amazon usually is like purchasing with Prime, and they don't read. They might see a picture of like a Hot Wheel and they're like, oh, that's the one I'm getting. The only problem is you have to look in the description. And sometimes these SKUs, they share a certain SKU, right? Like 30 different models will share one SKU, kind of like Pez dispensers. There could be like 10 different Pez dispensers. I had this happen with DC Comic Pez dispensers, and it's like the Flash, Thor, Batman, Green Lantern, all these guys were under one SKU. So Amazon just wasn't the place for it. I could have bundled them, I could have done some things, but that's just a lot more work. I decided to lot them up and put them on eBay instead. So consider that, because I know that the SKUs, when you scan them with your scanner, it's going to come up with like the same SKU all the time with like different models, which really sucks. You can describe it all you want, but it's just asking for returns. Okay. 14 Amelina, am I cool with letting people come to my house for Craigslist, and why? Yeah, I'm totally cool about it. Why? I'm big, right? No one's ever messed with me in the past 12 years I've done Craigslist. So that's one thing. Second thing is, yeah, people are going to try to haggle you. Who cares? Third thing is, Austin, Texas is relatively safe. We're not talking Detroit or weird parts of Houston. This is Austin. People are nice. With certain goods, I meet at the store down the street, the gas station. So certain goods, and it's usually snowboard related, motocross related, things where I like sometimes shady. What I see, this is the thing. Like I notice a lot of things, or I like to. I'm a very observant kind of guy. Like I realize patterns in certain things quickly, and I've realized there are patterns in like motocross type people and snowboard type people, and the patterns are like when they show up to your house, they're just weird. They're just different kind of people. They're like almost like casing your property. So those kind of things, those items I always put to the gas station down the street. Otherwise, I'm okay with people coming, to my house. I don't care. I got 3 dogs, I'm packing, right? Like I got stuff ready, especially in like the nighttime meetups in my house. Like I have my neighbor cross the street, and yes, we are strapped. We have firepower. Like I'm not kidding. Like, that's the way I treat it. I tell my neighbor, hey, I got someone coming up. I don't know if they're weird or whatever. Will you just be outside for a second? So anyway, Fargus girls and daddy, hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. I remember your video from your girls about a year ago. That was really cute. So AB Falter to 1 says, best advice for transitioning from eBay to Amazon. Well, just do it. Go low cost and scan everything, because there are a lot of restrictions out there now, like a ton. So best advice, if you're going to go from eBay to Amazon, I don't think you should go from eBay to, I think you should have eBay and supplement with Amazon, because there are a lot of items that are just destined for Amazon. They're better with Amazon. But, think about one of the best items to look on Amazon, and it's probably going to be selling higher on Amazon, video games. Like that's just it. Cartridge, disc, it doesn't matter. It's going to have a better market on Amazon, and it's probably going to move quicker. Everything's going to be faster. But other things such as used good, like other used goods that just don't have markets, like used clothing, all that stuff, eBay. I don't think Amazon is the solution to a lot of people's like problems or financial problems. I mean, there are a lot of people that do very well on Amazon, but I think for most of us, it's good to have that diversification. I think eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, maybe a little bit of whatever else you want to put in there. Maybe the antique booth being the last thing, right? Because that's sometimes the most long tail thing in the whole entire process. But you got to have a conglomeration of, I would say, 4 things, maybe 3 things. Most people should have 3 things: Amazon, eBay, and local. So that's pretty good. That's a lot to handle already. But Amazon just needs to be in there. It doesn't need to be one or the other. It needs to be in there. And you'll know, because when you go to a garage sale and you're scanning books or whatever, these books, they don't last a chance on eBay, but you put them on Amazon, you can get sometimes 10, 20 bucks for them. Same thing goes with like sealed CDs, that kind of stuff. So check it out. And of course, you can, if you're kind of unsure about FBA, you can also do merchant fulfilled, but FBA is pretty much the real reason why most people do Amazon. Thrift Shop Hustler says, hey, Bonafide, thanks for stopping by with Margaret on her show. That was cool. Have a great day. You have a great day too. It was nice talking to you. Anthony West, do I use a separate scanner besides the Amazon app on the iPhone? No, that's what I use on the iPhone. Corey Gooddry says, I'm 80% Amazon FBA. So yeah, Amazon FBA is brilliant if you can get the right kind of setup. And usually the right kind of setup is like single goods that have extremely high profit margins that are sealed. That's a good setup. And then maybe medium, not so much long tail, but medium tail to short tail items that are repeatable, such as when Target goes through a reset, or any one of these stores, like a sporting goods store, decides to let go of like a bunch of really good X, what could be shoes or whatever. If it has a really decent rank, top 10% or something like that, and you can replicate it 30 to 50 times over, that's a really good setup too. So, Amazon has its strong suits for a lot of things. I don't think it should be one or the other with eBay or Amazon. I think eBay should be in there, especially if you're not mobile. If you have like a house, an apartment or whatever, and you're going to be there for an extended period of time, you're not taking vacations and you're not a jet setter or anything like that, I think eBay should be in your mix. It's really important. It doesn't take very much space to start up a decent eBay part-time business, right? And you can get a lot out of it, especially if you're just going to be home anyway, right? You may as well do it. All right, more questions. You're welcome on the answers. Clearing clutter for clarity. Chris, do I have just one eBay store? I do. That's just one. That's all I have, as far as I know. I don't know why. Well, it's not that. I don't know why people have multiples, but maybe there's a reason behind it. I just don't understand it. Any more questions? Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to go to the very bottom. Corey Goodry says 0% retail arbitrage. Yeah, so you can have 80%, of your business on Amazon and none of it be retail arb, and that's totally fine. I mean, if your town has a lot of stuff that you can find sealed or even used, there's certain, there are a lot of used things like electronics that are okay on Amazon, but you got to do your due diligence and make sure that you're buying low, and you do that check before you send it in, like a couple times too, because you could check and then let's say you don't make your shipment until 2 weeks later, make sure you recheck again because it could be restricted in a matter of like a day, right? So be careful. Bobby Moons, do I use a thermal printer? I don't. I just use a normal printer. That's pretty much it. How long does it take to get approved for Amazon merch? Apparently, it's taken a while. And a lot of people that were approved for merch, and if you didn't put a design up that ever sold, or I don't even know if you put a design up, I think you might have been okay. But the people that just got into merch, did nothing with it, got canned, and now they're reapplying. So I don't know how long it takes to get approved for merch, although it could happen tomorrow. Like it's just one of those things. I applied to merch almost immediately when it opened up. I got approved within a month or so. And then I made green room shirts. I didn't make them, but Glenn, our graphic designer, made green room shirts, which started selling, and we don't make any money on them because that's not the whole purpose of making the shirt in the first place. It was just to, just make shirts and have fun and, give back to the people that wanted to buy a shirt. We just didn't want any money from the people. So we put them at cost. But yeah, that set some records. How should I say it? That set some sales going on in my store, and so they never canned my account. My account's still active now, so that's good. And I have not many designs up. I think I have like 15 designs up at most. I do plan on working on it a little bit this year, but not a whole lot, because like I said, my passion is going to be on another project that I have to get started up, and it has to go somewhere. So Clearing Clutter for Clarity says merch approval took me 4 months. Another person's saying 6 months. It can take a while. I just know that my first one was a month. 14 Emelina, where should I put my profits? IRA. Oh man, it's a tough question. You can shelter what, $500 or $5,500 a year on IRA. You can do that. If you're somewhat decent with mathematics and analytics, you can mess with stocks. And if you are pretty confident that you're not going to be moving around a whole bunch, probably want to get into property if you can. Because that's always a good thing. Yes, you pay property taxes and stuff, but if you're in a town that's booming, or there's a section of your town that maybe is starting to get discovered, or you have a feeling it's going to get discovered, and you see like the gentrification happening and all that kind of stuff, maybe you should put your profit there. So think about those kind of things. And then what I always like to say is, what I'm doing now is invest in yourself, whether that be courses to learn something. Always invest in yourself. That's important. So if you invest in yourself, it's usually like I'm putting in 1 unit to get 10 units out. Does that make sense? So always think about that, because the people that go 1-to-1, like I'm going to invest 1 unit and I'm going to get 1 unit out of it, that's not good. But you always want to invest in yourself, make the effort, and then you convert your 1 unit to 10 units, right? And that's how people get successful. So invest in yourself is a very big one. Like if you got dreams and aspirations, don't forget to follow a complicated and crazy road to get to your, to get these things accomplished is really important. 10K on the Bay, what's my normal breakfast? I'm kind of off topic, but curious. This is a great question, so we're going to answer it. Like anything goes on this show, okay? As long as we stay away from like super duper like finances and, weird stuff with the wife and everything, but pretty much anything goes. 10K on the Bay, what's up? It's my friend Chris. Hey man, normal breakfast, it just depends. If I'm on a bulk, the breakfast is going to be different. If I'm on a cut, the breakfast is more like this morning, which was about 8 to 10 ounces of scrambled egg whites. It was a handful of spinach from a big spinach tray, so a pretty big one, that was all scrambled, and a scoop of guacamole, some Cholula hot sauce because it has no calories, half a glass of orange juice, and that was my breakfast. But 30 minutes before that, I had a protein smoothie, right, which was 30 minutes after a workout. So after this, I'm going to have a lunch, and I don't know what I'm going to have for lunch yet. I haven't figured it out. I might have 2 cans of sardines, brown rice, balsamic vinegar, and olive oil. That's probably what it's going to be. But anyways, I like sardines. Sardines are like a superfood. Do your research. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so yeah, That's a great question, Chris. Thank you so much for asking it. I actually like answering questions like that much better. Superman 847, Bonafide, at one point analyzing your sales on eBay and merch, can you confidently say you have the ability to go full time? I'm now making about $3,000 a month combined between both sides. You know, it really depends on your personal, like, financial situation. I like to think that people can go way more full time quicker if your fixed costs in life are way lower. So I know what my fixed costs are like right now. Like, I just know it, right? And you should know it, right? A really good hustler is always going to know their fixed costs, your rent, you know, whatever you have, rent or mortgage payment, electricity to keep the lights on, cell phone payment, anything else that you got going on, whether if you're doing merch and you got that cloud Adobe thing, you know, then that's $20 a month. Your, like I said, cell phone bill, if you have a car payment, insurance bill, everything like umbrella bill, life insurance, all that kind of stuff. That's all stuff that you are liable to pay every single month. So I would take 30 minutes out of your, or it doesn't even take 30 minutes, but like 15 minutes out of your day, list all that stuff out and see where you are. Because if you are at 2K and you're bringing in 3K a month, that's pretty decent. That's not too bad, right? But if you are at 2,800 fixed costs and you're pulling in $3,000, you're barely getting by, right? You only have $200 for whatever else can go wrong in life. That's not a good setup. So always know your fixed costs first before you decide to do anything full time. It's so important, right? And if your fixed costs are okay, you have somewhat something going on in savings, and you have a really good work ethic, then full time might be the thing for you. But when you go full time, don't be thinking like it's just going to be riches around the corner, because now you have to deal with, you know, your own like physiology. How do I say it? Your own human psychology. Like, because there is no boss, the human body, or the humans, they just tend to slack off a little bit more. It's just what happens. You'll sleep in a little bit later. So you're going to have to, there's a huge challenge once you go full time. Don't be thinking, I'm just going to take 8 hours that I was at my job and I'm going to do 8 hours in the thrift stores and everything's going to be peachy. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be totally different. So I'm just trying to warn you guys, because I've been through that road, and it's fun, but it can lead to some really weird things. I have a show in the past, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and got a lot of like really good comments and reviews, I guess you want to say it. Lots of thumbs up, but it was called like 5 pitfalls to avoid when reselling on eBay or Amazon. So check it out. It has a green background, you know, as the show banner. Check out that show first, okay? Before you go full time or whatever, just check out that show, please. Corey Gooddry says, I'm lazy 20% of the time. So there's a lot of stuff that will kind of, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's going to come around the corner if you decide to go full time in this. If you're pulling in 3K and your fixed costs are close to 3K, I wouldn't do it. If you're pulling in 3K and your fixed costs are 1 or 2K, now that becomes really interesting, right? So think about it. Unique Treasures PA says, I really like that show. That was good info. Thanks. So referring to that show I was talking about, the pitfalls to avoid on Amazon and eBay. Please go watch that show. Anybody that is a reseller that has reselling knacks or just loves thrifting and loves my channel, loves my journey, please check out that show, because it wasn't really about pitfalls. It was about really deep stuff that is guaranteed to hit every single one of you guys out there. And it's deep stuff. It's really deep. Like, I didn't mean it to be deep, but it went deep. So anyway, we got 91 people watching right now. We got 20 upvotes. You know, if I can do my math right, there's 71 people out here that could be 20% lazy, like Corey Gooddry says. Hey, do me a favor, honestly, for all the effort that I've ever put into YouTube, just hit the like button on this video one time. That's all I'm asking. I don't think it takes very much. And put a comment, you know, put a question. Maybe I can get to your question. I want to answer a lot of questions today. I really do. So I really have like 41 minutes. I want to do an hour show, and I want to answer a lot of questions. Superman 847, hey, Bonafide, thanks for answering my question. Awesome. All right, so he watched that show I was talking about. There you go. It's a great show. I'm not tooting my own horn. That was a really good show. It takes a lot of, like, let's just call it as it is. It takes a lot of balls to like do a show like that, because to really go deep and nitty gritty into your life and expose yourself, not like with a coat, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking like expose yourself and your insecurities and all that kind of stuff. I did that on that show. And I told people, like, I went through a depressive state and all this kind of stuff. I had to get a therapist. Like, it was really weird. But I'm also the kind of guy who's very hard on myself, and I want to achieve a lot of big things in life. So, you know, there's always going to be some sort of despair and trials and tribulations. You can't just have a winning life all the time. You can't. It's just not going to happen. There will be trials, there will be tribulations, there will be ups and downs. But, you know, if you know what to do when the down periods come, which I got professional help. I was like, I'm not messing around with this. This is really serious. You know, it got me out of it. And I feel pretty good to this day. So, no amount of working out, physical fitness, and all that kind of stuff could even circumvent that. It was just going to happen regardless. So anyway, Una Vintage says, can I rip a phone book in half? First of all, you say phone book, and I say I don't even let a phone book come into my house. So I don't know if I can rip it in half, because I can't remember the last time I saw a phone book on my doorstep. You know how they used to give you one like every year? Like, I don't know I think I know what a phone book still looks like. But anyway, did you ever get to use, okay, let me ask you, this is a serious question. Did you ever get confused, like yellow pages and white pages every now and then, right? Every now and then, you're like, where the hell do I look this thing up? Holler back if before you were going to get an oil change or something random done, right? Before you were a property owner, before you even maybe you owned a car, you checked for a coupon in the yellow pages in the very back. Remember those days? Those weren't the days. The days are right now with a cell phone. I'm sorry. Those were not the days. This is the day now. So anyway, Bobby Moon says, hey, not all are willing to share such personal information. I respect you for sharing. Hey, you guys got it, right? I owe it to you guys. I can't just sit there and make this reselling thing look amazing all the time. I have to tell you like some of the bad parts about it too. So what do we got? 10 Count the Base says, what's a book? Exactly. What is a book? There's been some, how do I say? There's some videos on YouTube with like children, right? And they give the children a cassette and like a boombox, and they're like, all right, play the cassette. And they don't even know how to load the cassette into the boombox, because they weren't born in the 80s. They were born like the 2000s and above. So it's kind of funny, like when you see them kind of jostling the cassette around, them, like they don't even know how to put it in. And of course we know how to do it, but it's kind of an interesting video when you see it. And that goes back to what he's saying, like, what is a book? Eventually there's going to be a time where a book is going to be like, what the hell is that? Corey Gooddry, I sent you an email. Okay, cool. I'll take a look for that. Mr. Too Easy Going says, I go back to rotary phones, yellow and white pages. Yeah, I remember rotary phones a little bit when I was really tiny. 19th Vintage says, do payphones still exist? It's a serious question. I don't know. I think I saw one in Vegas when I was down there. I think I saw one. I don't know if it was working, but I know I saw one. Man, those things are like super cesspools for like every single probably disease known to man. Because when I look at a payphone, I'm like, ooh, that's like sticky, icky, and like, like it surprises me, because when I was a little kid, I used to always put my finger in the change slot, right? And like one side of every 30 times, I'd go to quarter. And me, the hustler inside, the little bona fide tiny midget hustler dude, like I was the kind of kid who was like putting his hands under the arcade games to see fallen quarters and get tokens and all that kind of stuff, and going into every coin slot and trying to get money out of it. I'm not kidding. Like that was me. I would also go underneath gumball machines to see if people like left their like fallen gumball stuff. Like it was crazy. Like, so that was like the mini hustler in me. Like I was always trying to figure out ways logically, like where could money be? And logically, I was like, well, surely people are dropping their coins around this big ass rectangular wooden box thing. So I'm sure someone went under, right? So anyway, am I a germaphobe? No, I'm not a germaphobe, but I don't think even people that are not germaphobes know it's probably best to stay away from a payphone, honestly. Henry S says, oh, that by the way, I have sold payphones in my booth. I think I sold one. I've sold 3 parking meters, like straight up old school, like with the twist dial. So that was pretty interesting too. But anyway, I have a payphone in my guest room. Just bought one off eBay for home use, just the phone. Congratulations, Henry S. Nowadays, 3-year-olds are going to program their own bike to drive them to school. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, we are living in an amazing time. How many grooves are in a vinyl record? I cannot answer that question. I'm not 100% confident I even know how to play a record. Honestly, like that was something my parents did, and there was always music in the house, but I think I could figure it out, but I'm not 100% sure. Flipping for a living says, being transparent and vulnerable actually shows strength. Thank you. That wasn't my goal. It's just, why hide, from things like that? It's always better to talk about it. Okay, so other Clearing Clutter for Clarity says, Bonafide Hustler, I used to do that at the arcade, and I would sell the tokens at the change machine. Wow, unbelievable. Okay, so we're talking about payphones. Let's get some more questions in here. Go ahead and ask me anything you guys want. Does anyone use OfferUp or Let Go to sell on? Okay, so like when I do OfferUp, I haven't done anything Let Go yet, but the last time I've done OfferUp twice, and it's been to source, and each time I sourced, I picked up radio controlled things. One was a boat, and one was a crawler. I think I bought the crawler for $60, which was unbelievable, and I flipped it for $270 or something like that on eBay. Not very long later. Like, I basically played with the crawler. I was like, let me see if I like it. Like, it'd be kind of cool. And then I played with it. I was like, I don't like it. So then I threw it on eBay, and I think it was $269.99. It was a Falcon Edition Axial SCX10 1/10 scale crawler, something like that. I couldn't believe I got it for $60. I was like, holy crap. Like, you could literally go to the hobby store down the road and pick it up for $340 without tax. And I'm like, holy crap. So when I was buying it for $60, I was like, well, surely there's something wrong. There was nothing wrong with it. I don't know who, and it's a relatively new one too, like, which is kind of crazy. Like, who buys something that's like $340 and then decides to liquidate it, or is in such a bad financial standpoint where they have to liquidate it like not too long later for $60? That's crazy. And the person wasn't a drug addict or anything. It just was a person that sold it to me with batteries and everything. I was so blown away. Anyway, and then shortly thereafter, I picked up a boat. I still have the boat, but I'm probably going to sell it soon. Picked it up for $75, and I think it's considerably worth $150 or $200 locally. Okay. All right, more questions. Oh, used test year is a great question. Am I still riding mountain bike often? Yes. I try to ride a lot, actually. I was riding yesterday. I judge how good my mountain biking is by how many people pass me. And honestly, in the past decade, I think I've been passed like 5 times total, 5. Which is a lot. It's not like I'm bragging or anything, but I really treat mountain biking very, very seriously. Like, when I have someone on my tail, like, my mission is to dust that fool. But yes, I ride it often. I've got trails that are 8 miles one direction that way. I have trails that are like 4 miles direction this way, and I live between 2 amazing parks that have unbelievable mountain biking trails. And yeah, it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If I'm in a mood to like suffer and grueling stuff and maybe get hurt, I go to this one place. If I am in the mood for like fast-paced stuff and flow, I go to another one. So, and then that's just 2 of like the 10 that are in this town. Any advice for a newbie bike flipper? So use test here. Yes, my advice is, if you're in the green room, I think you are. Anyway, is to go into the section, the file section. The Bikes to Bucks guide that I created a while back is in there. So just check that out, please. And then one of the advices for a newbie bike flipper is, like, if you're really serious about this and you're going to, be really, really serious about it. First of all, yes, read Bikes to Bucks, very important. And then show me some pictures behind the scenes on Bonafide Hustler Facebook. And, let's do your first 10 bike flips together. I did that with Raken. I did that with some other people, and it doesn't take very long before you start to realize that there's a lot of money to be made in bicycles, and but sometimes you just need a helping hand, right? And I'll do it for free, but just try to get the bike guide though. If you're in the room, it's for free. If not, let me know behind the scenes. Maybe I can set you up with a coupon code and get this thing, down for you. Aaron Kluge says, I love live shows. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Good to see you, man. Good conversation with you yesterday in the green room. Yeah. So I'm a bike novice. Yeah, man. Aaron, you can train me in stereo stuff, and I will train you in bikes. But yeah, hey, Aaron, go to the section in the green room. greenroomuniversity.com, and please download the bike guide and go through it. That's such an important guide to go through. Use test here. I'm not in the green room, but I should. Yeah, you should be in the green room for sure. 10K on the bay. You're in the green room. I know that, but he's got to go. If you're in the green room, let me know in the feed right here. If you're wondering what the green room is, I keep saying it. The second link down below will explain it to you. It's basically a thrifting group that has its intense foundations with thrifting, eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, anything that goes. And plus, we have a Green Room Life page where we talk about like diets, workouts, motivation, other things outside of hustling. There's a Green Room University site as well. So if you're in the Green Room and you've subscribed for a month or maybe a year, I think we're running $50 a month or $200 a year. Of course, the yearly is the better one to go with. Then you're exposed to all that stuff, and it's a lot of fun. It's community, like-minded people. So whose idea was it? The green room, Corey Gooddry? This is a good question. I'm just going to answer it. So it was an idea between me and a gentleman named Young back in the day, at which point we decided to move forward with a business, and then we acquired the College Picker soon thereafter. And then after that, we acquired Rake and Profit. After that, we acquired Cody Hawk, but then Cody Hawk dropped out. And then we ran it 4 people deep for quite a while. And then things got really serious and things got kind of complicated. Young, I don't know if we can still call it stepped out or there was something that occurred, but either way, it's down to me, Steve, and Eric. And that's what it is now. And there's nothing weird about Young or anything like that, or Cody. Like, I still keep in touch with Cody, still say hey, what's up every now and then to Young. Both great individuals. It's just like, I don't know how to explain it, but there's always like a friendship to business and there's always a business side to business. And so when you open a business with your friends, there's a high propensity that something is going to happen that is not good, right? There's something's going to happen. And it doesn't mean that you don't like the person or that you don't agree with them eye to eye or something. There's always the business side and there's going to be the friendship side. And it gets very complicated. So I didn't want to steer away from that question because I think it's an important question. But the Green Room was founded between originally me, Young, and Eric, basically. It was actually over some Japanese food in Austin, Texas. But yeah, I have a lot of respect for anyone that's ever been affiliated with the Green Room, and from the people that I do business with now, like, I have an intense amount of respect for them. And yeah, will the Green Room ever expand with admins? I don't know. Like, it's one of those things that we've thought about it, but we think our group is good so far. But thank you for the question. Okay, so Keisha Crawford says, hey, do I ship the bikes or do I sell them local? Most of the bikes, about 95% of them, if not more, are going to be done local, right? I might come across something really amazing every year that goes to, seems like 1 or 2 every single year go to eBay, but I know that that's the market for them, right? It could be a vintage BMX, it could be a really hard to find mountain bike, it could be a really cool custom cruiser, but it's meant for eBay. It needs that exposure. Now, that being said, selling them locally, there's nothing wrong with that, because I also live in Austin, Texas, which is a huge bike town. You can equate it to Seattle, Portland, LA, Miami. There are people that just love biking here. Road biking, mountain biking, cruiser biking, any kind of biking goes in this town, and you can get almost close to top dollar for just about everything. So I flip most of my stuff in my town. It's discussed also in my guide as well. And that's the way to do it, because it's final, right? When I deal with Craigslist, I have one instance in my entire Craigslist selling history, and I've sold thousands, if not tens of thousands of things on Craigslist locally in the past 12 years. I've had one person come back to my door and say, can I return this? One. I remember what it was. There was a kid that came up to my door. The van pulled up. A kid comes out of it, and was it a flute or was it a guitar? I think it was a guitar. Selling a classical guitar, child size. The kid's like, oh my God, like, awesome, $40. He's like, I'll take it. I really want it. Goes back to the car. And then the mom sends him back out. And the mom's like, and the kid's back. He's like, I'd like to have my money back. My mom says I need to get a different size or something like that. It was something really, really like, okay, that warranted the return. That was the only time I've ever had a return on Craigslist. So Craigslist is final. I like it. You don't deal with feedbacks and anything like that. And with bikes, it's an amazing income stream here in this town. It was how I got started. If you check out my first book on Amazon, Flip That, you know what? That was how I got started. I got started with bikes. And usually when you start hustling or reselling, you want to do something with intense. You want to hustle things with intense amount of passion behind it, whether it be you take a look at the 5 things that you're most passionate about that you know a whole lot about. It could be video gaming, it could be bikes, it could be sporting goods, whatever, something that you just know a whole lot about already, and you start expanding from those core places first. Now, that being said, it's always good to be part of a like-minded community, because now you'll be exposed to all this other stuff that you didn't think to ever research, or that you would never think would have a market, that with money behind it. So if you can get around like-minded individuals that are not complaining, because that's really important, guys. Like, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. If you can get around people that aren't complaining, you will get where you need to go quicker, period. All right, what do we got here? More questions. Let me think here. Okay, so Clear and Collider for clarity. Hey, Bonafide Hustler, do I do affiliate links? I noticed some of your links could benefit from this, such as your book, Kindle, merch, shirts. I guess. I mean, all of my links in my description are basically things that I am partnered up with right now. And it's either the shirts that I have created, or it's the links directly to my book. But do I do affiliate-based link stuff? I don't, but I think with my next project, I will. Not my next project, but the next evolution of my workout channel will deal with certain things. Like if I recommend a certain weightlifting belt or certain straps or a certain pre-workout or something, I will do affiliate links with Amazon through that. But that won't be like, that'll just be something like, okay, it's nice to get compensated for saying something. I won't sell out to anybody. And if I really decide, when you go into the workout genre and you go really into it, I know that people, just like in the YouTube hustling arena, they'll start hitting you up with certain things like, I want you to rep my product. How much for for you to mention my name in the video? We get hit with those kind of things all the time now, and you have to be thinking about those kind of things. Like, your audience is very sensitive, and if you're going to rep something, you better be behind that thing like 100%. Like, you better have gone through it, you better have taken it, consumed it, and you swear by it, because those kind of items or those kind of courses or whatever that finds their way into people's hands, and if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, that's not good. It doesn't look good on you. So make sure you just get behind your affiliate links, basically. So I'm sure I'll do that on the workout channel. I'll get it behind certain products, but I'll have to try them extensively. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to try a pre-workout one time and it's amazing. Like, what happens if 7 days later your intestinal linings toast and all that kind of stuff? So I'm going to try it for an extended period of time and make sure it's good to say, like, yeah, I give it my approval. That's kind of how I want to do it. It's morally the right thing to do. 19th Vintage says, I'd be into that. I'm back into powerlifting. What's your other channel? My other channel, I will let people in the feed tell you what my other channel is, because I know people in the feed know what it is. So tell 19th Vintage, what is the name of my other channel? Go ahead and say it. Falcon Eddie says, is the Endless Summer poster original 60s or a repro? This is a repro poster. I wish it was real, but it's not. And a repro is freaking awesome. Like, I love that poster. Like, my entire life, energy, and chi goes to this sport. Like, I love surfing so much. You might be wondering, like, if you love it so much, why the hell do you live in landlocked ass Austin, Texas? It's just the way it is. I mean, I like Austin. I have property here. I have family here. Went to college here. I like the town a lot, but my real roots with like super happiness is right here. I love surfing. I really do. So people know, there it is. Mr. Easygoing says it's Bod Damn. That's the name of my other channel. Go check it out. It's a fitness channel. So yeah. Clear and Clutter for Clarity says, I get what you're saying about sponsored videos, though. I see a ton of this going on. You wonder if the person is only doing it for the money. It's not cool. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that kind of stuff. And that just goes towards my inner like morals and all that. Like, if I'm gonna get behind something, especially for you guys, like I have 24,000 people that follow my channel. If I'm gonna get behind something, I better make sure that I really like it a lot, because that gets tied to you pretty quickly. And so it's the reason why on my channel, I haven't got behind a whole lot of things, just because there were certain things like wholesale forming was pretty cool. There are just certain things I will get behind, but I have to be able to get to know what it is, what the product is, and do I sincerely believe like this is the answer to take someone else from point A to point B, right? You have to ask yourself those kind of questions, because it might not be a lot of money to you, for example. Like for me, it might not be a whole lot of money to me, but it could be a ton of money to someone else. It could be like almost damn near drain their life savings for someone else. So you got to think about those kind of things. But yes, if you get behind something and you don't want to create the other product, it's good to do affiliate stuff. Like, it's absolutely really, really good. And they have sites that have all kinds of affiliate programs that you can get behind if you don't want to create a site for, a course for WordPress, or a course for a Shopify store, or an Amazon, like what Raykin got behind the other day, book selling on Amazon thing, right? If he doesn't want to create that course, and so he goes through someone else's course and he's like, all right, this is a really good course, and that's what he said in the video, then that's okay to be an affiliate for that person, because you sincerely believe like that's over and beyond maybe what you would have created. It's really the end all be all. So yeah, I think it's perfectly fine to get behind things like that. Bobby Moon says, what was my best profit for a single item on any platform? I think when I go down to single items on any platform, a couple things come to my mind. One is going to be a mountain bike, probably 8-10 years ago. It was a $1,000 mountain bike at a pawn shop that I bought, called a Yeti 575 with a carbon rear triangle, extra large frame. I sold it on mtbr.com classifieds for $1,800. I think it was without shipping. So that was good. That was a good flip. Last year, and I know why. I know about last year because I did my taxes and I saw this thing come up, but I had a printer sold for $769.99 that I picked for $30. That was pretty cool. It was a wide format Epson R1900, maybe something like that. And then later in the year, I found another one, which was in a little bit weirder condition. Couldn't test it out. I bought that one for like 10. I sold it for 300, and I found another one that I bought for like 20 or something like that, and I sold it locally for 150. So anyway, there are a lot of people trying to call me right now. So anyway, yeah, those are really good flips. They don't come around all the time. When you're dealing with this flip game, I'm more concerned about the flips that are $5 or $10 that you can sell for 100. Like those are good setups. The other day, or actually yesterday, a pair of shoes for 15 bucks sells for 88. Like that's good. Like I like those kind of flips. Those are a little bit more common. But for the flips on eBay that are really big, I mean, I'm not. God, who keeps calling me? What is going on? Okay, so anyway, yeah, for flips on eBay that are really big, I mean, I wouldn't look for that kind of stuff. I would look for bread and butter type items that you can make good, reliable money on first. Turntable one, I found a Sansui AU 2000 amplifier for 60, sold for 1200. Wow, that's huge. I sold some Sansui speakers yesterday for 150 that I picked up for 5. That was a local sale. I put that in the green room as well yesterday. Yeah, go check out the green room, please. It's the second link down below. And you'll see this amazing video that I'm a part of and Raycon's a part of in the video too, like a professionally shot, cool video. So yeah, check that out. Okay, so manned antique market stall, or do you use the type that you sell yourself, that sells myself for you? Okay, so I don't do manned antique booth. I do the other style, which is the people at the front of the antique mall run the entire project. So if you can imagine a tin building, usually it's a tin building, or it's the size of it's the side of a store, strip mall store or whatever. But you go in, there's like a head cashier kind of place. It's like the end of a funnel, right? So you go in, you're at the end of a funnel, and then you can go any direction outside of that, and go from any of these booths that are around. These booths will range between small, medium, and large in regards to square feet. The stuff that's in the booth may or may not be themed. It may or may not be like some antique malls have a lot of regulations. Some are a little bit more deregulated. Like I like to think mine's a little bit more deregulated, where I have a lot more freedom about what I want to put in. But yeah, anyways, so I run an unmanned antique booth business where I put stuff in a booth. If you watch my videos, you've seen it. And I drop things off and I put price tags on them, and I try to improve the booth any which way I can, but I try to make it a really nice buyer experience to where they can hunt around for objects and generally find items that are antique, retro, and vintage, right? I'm not going to put anything current day in there. And I use it as a passive type of income stream. It doesn't pay a terrible amount of money every single month, but it's there. It's fun. It also allows me to not walk away from vintage and retro and antique things that might be larger or have smaller markets on eBay. It allows me to buy it for really like pennies on the dollar at a garage sale and bring it straight to the booth and put it up for, like a 25-cent shirt or $1 shirt can be put up into the booth for 10 to 20 bucks and it has a decent market there. The people that shop around my booth are people that like individuality. They want to look different. That the people from Austin, right? Hey, little hippie dudes and stuff, and they like cowboy boots, and they like pro snap shirts, and they like all kinds of stuff that just give them the essence of feeling different and maybe being a Texan. So, and I might even pick the big ass tuna that is like right here. I have a gigantic tuna. You guys want to see the tuna? If you want to see the tuna, let me know. There's a huge tuna over here. I might put that in the booth tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. I might put a big tuna right here on the wall. Like it's really big and it's really cool. Picked it up last weekend for 10 bucks. But anyway, like a big, obscure thing. Like no one knows if the tuna is like current day tuna or like retro tuna. So like I could put that in the booth, right? Because you can't get busted for a tuna, right? No one in life ever gets busted for a tuna. But I'm going to put a deer head in there tomorrow. I'm visiting the booth tomorrow. I'm going to put my deer head in there. A couple other things that are in the crate. But yeah, I'd like to do drops every now and then. And I wish I could run it more efficiently and better. But like I said, my passion lies with this one other project. I got to get this other project going. So anyway, yeah. Bobby Moon says, let's see the tuna. You guys want to see the tuna? I need to see, if you guys want to see the tuna, we have 102 people. We have 50 upvotes. We have 1 downvote. I need some more likes. I will bring out the tuna, man. I'm telling you, I will bring out the tuna. Just let me know. But I got to see some more likes on this video. Then the tuna comes out, dude. I'm telling you. It's a really nice tuna. Okay, so more questions. About 50 more minutes on the show. Question, how can you tell if something is vintage? Well, that's a really good question. The question could also be like, how can you know if something's vintage or antique? And so there are technical terms to this. Like an antique could be something pre-60s, maybe a vintage item could be maybe pre-70s. A vintage item could be something that's like 70s to maybe 80s, and then 80s to 2000s is considered retro. So, there's no real like definitive answer to it. And when I put stuff in the booth, I'm not thinking that question whatsoever. I'm thinking, is this cool? Is this nostalgic? Is it obscure? And, does it belong in this place? Because I certainly don't want to get, fired, not fired, but saying where they go like, hey, man, like, what the hell is this doing in your booth? Haven't had that happen yet. I've been with a booth since a long time. I want to say it's been 4 years, but I think it's been like 5 or 6, honestly. So it's been there right about when I started my channel, or maybe even before. So, and it was watching a lot of American Pickers is what led me to even doing that booth in the first place. It was like, I watched so many American Pickers show and I loved them, to where I was like, you know what, like maybe I should do this. And so that's what made me do the booth. It wasn't Bonafide Hustler YouTube channel. It wasn't garage sales. It was, I'm going to go pick people's property, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's how the booth started, honestly. Yeah, Jeff Stanton has a really funny kind of remark. Vintage listings are up to 1997 now, LOL. There's just no real method to the madness, right? You just got to be able to have a good eye and go, okay, is this vintage or retro or antique? And it doesn't matter. Like on the tags, when I'm like filling them out, I'm not putting vintage pearl snap shirt or retro, pennant. I'm not doing those kind of things. I'm just putting pennant or pearl snap shirt, basic stuff. As long as it doesn't look too current day, I'm okay. Falcon 80 and Master Picker says American Pickers pay way too much. Yeah, they might. They also have a market that they know really, really well. Okay, Bonafide tuna. Everyone wants to see the tuna. Come on, we need more likes, and I'll bring the tuna out. Everyone's talking about the tuna, man. Aaron Kluge says, I'm an affiliate for cold showers. It's an inside joke to something that a challenge that Rakin is doing inside the Green Room Life page right now. I think he's on day 14. Here's one that's really good. Clear and Clutter for Clarity says, you mentioned cross-listing things in your eBay store in the booth. How do you manage this? So this is tough. And just the other day, I had something sell in the booth for $40. It was a pair of boots that I had on eBay simultaneously, right? So how do I manage this? I look at what sells in my booth every single evening, right? And that's the risk I'm willing to take, is that something, and this hardly ever happens, like hardly. Usually where it happens is I go wrong. Where I go wrong is I put something in the booth, it sells, but I'm not checking my antique booth roster, what's sold every day, until like 2 days later. And that thing happens to be on eBay as well. It also sells maybe on, a day after it really sold in real life. Like it sells on eBay, and I should have looked at my antique booth roster thing. So that's kind of where I went wrong. And it's almost always can be traced back to me. And this is a huge eBay no-no, that if you have cross-listed items that, if you back out from a buyer and you refund their money, like it is a terrible strike against your account. So you definitely want to, and there are ways around this too. You can do items on auction and bids, like, you can do a single day auction, I think 3 day, 5 day, maybe 7. And that's a little bit safer way to do it, because the second you see bids, like go run over to your antique booth and go get it, right? But the way I do it is a little bit slightly more risky. But, with 100 and I don't even know how many items I have right now, 130 items, let's say, for example, in my eBay store, I think I have maybe 2 or 3 cross-listed items, and those I am like watching like a hawk every day in the evening time around 7 o'clock. I get the Antique Mall roster and I see what's sold, and I'm like, holy crap, like the boot sold. Like the other day, the boot sold. I'm like, oh my God, and went right to my eBay and deleted that posting immediately. And since all my stuff is buy it now, then there's no bids on it, right? Because if there's bids on it, you can't terminate the thing. So just so you know. So yeah, it's a little risky, but I don't do it with all my items, just a certain. Now, a better type thing to do, I think, And something that I was about to do with the speakers that I sold yesterday was to put the speakers in the booth because they are vintage Sansui or retro Sansui speakers. And those I could cross list on eBay. And then when someone's like, yeah, I want to see the speakers, then what I do is I go to the booth, put them in my truck, meet at a gas station somewhere. And then the person's like, yeah, maybe, maybe not. Okay, cool. And then they don't buy it. Cool. Back in the booth. But it gives me a way of also running a nice operation to where it's not at my house, which is really important too, because it's getting seen from the antique mall business people and it's getting seen from the Craigslist people. So it's two markets. That's good. But I never got a chance to do it. So it all takes work. Like I could cross list a lot more things if I had a lot more time, but I don't. So and I need to do more. I need to, but I just need to find more time. Henry asks, do I sell trampolines? Which are the best? I don't sell trampolines. Sorry. Vintage and rare are two of the most overused words that still do not that do still increase perceived value. Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. Okay. Near mint looks like okay. So do I market my booth on local platforms? I don't. That's 19th Vintage asking that question. 111 watching right now, 67 upvotes. When I get to 80 likes, I'll show you guys the tuna. I really will. I'll show you my tuna. Jenny B, I accidentally listed and oh, okay, here's a good one. Let me read this one out. Okay, so Jenny B says, I accidentally listed and sold similar on auction the same item. Oh, wow, that sucks. I sold the listed one and I realized I did an auction on that item. Well, for some reason, I cannot delete it. Do you know why? Sold the listed one and I realized I did an auction. If the auction has any bids, that's the reason why you can't delete it. But I don't know. If you should be able to delete anything that doesn't have bids. Yeah, should be able to. If you have watchers, that doesn't matter. You can delete things with watchers too. I believe you can delete things with watchers. Yeah, when someone has a bid on something, you can't delete, and you can't. I mean, you technically could, but it's a terrible strike against your account. But you could also, you're not allowed to alter your stuff too. Like after there's a bid on there, like you can't just go in there and go like, retract free shipping and put something else. You can't do that. So anyway, 71 upvotes. We're getting closer to getting to see the tuna, guys. Other questions. Let's get some questions that aren't. Oh, wow. Anyway, there's some funny comments coming in here. Let's get some questions that are like not hustling related. Go ahead and ask something. I don't care what it is. I'll give you guys something to judge me on real quick, okay? Because I thought about saying this the other day. But you guys can judge me right now. So there are a couple things I've never seen. I've never seen these movies, okay? And go ahead. You can kind of go. You can start flipping out. That's fine. One movie I've never seen. And it's a cult favorite. I need to make the time to see it. I've seen like 10 minutes of it, and I was like, I just didn't have the time to watch the rest of it. The Big Lebowski. I've never seen it. And I know. It's a cult favorite. Now, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen more than 10 minutes of Reservoir Dogs. Never seen it. I haven't seen The Little Mermaid. I haven't seen The Lion King. I haven't seen, what's the other one with the, anyway, yeah, I haven't seen those. I haven't seen cartoon Beauty and the Beast. I saw the redone one. And then there's another one, Aladdin. I haven't seen that one either. So I haven't seen these. I haven't actually seen any of these movies. So you can go ahead and judge the absolute, because when I told Eric that I hadn't, my business partner, Eric, when I told him I hadn't seen The Lion King, he like literally lost his, what? He lost it. Like that was it. He was like, I cannot believe it. Cannot. When I told my wife that I hadn't seen Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Lion King, or whatever the other one was that I said, like she like lost her marbles too. So yeah, I thought that was like, okay, I need to make time to see these movies. Yeah. So a lot of people are saying it's pretty funny. There's a name I can't pronounce. It's like a Russian name, but the person's saying, what have you seen? Okay, I've seen a lot of great movies. Don't get me wrong. I just have never seen those key movies, right? Drummer, there's a question from Drummer. Do I ever have a donut binge cheat day? So here's an interesting fact about me. When I did an allergic test, or when you go to like the allergy doctor or whatever, they pinprick you on the back and you're like, okay, you're allergic to this, that. I'm allergic to all tree nuts. And then they figured out that I was slightly allergic to gluten, which they were like, look, if you're allergic to anything, it's kind of like a good idea to get off of everything, all that stuff. I was allergic to cod, and I think I want to say hake fish and maybe mackerel or something like that. Anyway, so adios fish and chips. Adios all tree nuts, which really pissed me off. But anyways, I'm dealing with it. This was like 2 years ago. And then adios gluten. So that was actually a good thing. Like the gluten was like, all right, see you later pastas and see you later donuts. Like that made me really happy. Not that I had a sweet tooth, but I'm like, oh, those are two really good things to like be told like you can't have any more of. So anyway, that's just what life is. I mean, there are a lot of people that are probably looking at my life and going, I'd give anything to have your allergies, right? Because maybe they're allergic to something else, or they're in a different physical state than me, or whatever. Like it's just I should be thankful, right? And you should also always be thankful what you got. And so everyone's going to get dealt some weird cards, and different chapters are going to open up in their lives. And it's a test of character on how you handle all of that in per in how do I say it, in the grand scheme of things, right? Because there are a lot of other people in this world, and it's not just you out there, right? Clearing clutter for clarity. Hey, Bonafide, what is your opinion on Starbucks coffee? Starbucks coffee is not high grade coffee. It's like the worst of the beans, like the reject beans. But they are making some Starbucks reserve stores out there, and some of these reserve stores have really amazing coffee apparently, and some of them have wine and beer and stuff. So we have one downtown that has wine and beer. But they're different type stores. They have a totally different branding. They're pretty exquisite looking, honestly. And their cups of coffee, I think the small ones start at like 360, and it goes all the way up to like 480 for a large. But these are like totally different fair trade coffees. So I've never tried them though, but I mean, general Starbucks coffee. The reason why I go to Starbucks every now and then is the reason why most people go to Starbucks is because it's convenient, and they've managed to build one on like within 4 blocks of each other. Like everywhere you go, 4 blocks of one is going to be another one, right? And that's convenient. So you can't blame them for doing. I'll have subpar coffee if it's convenient. That's just the way I am. Jeff Stanton says, hey, what do you think about getting over an allergy by immersing yourself in your allergen or building a tolerance? That could be done. But and I think that's essentially kind of like what they do when they wean you off cedar or all this other stuff, is they literally inject you with this stuff and make sure that you are controlled and that you don't have a crazy reaction within an hour or two. But that's essentially kind of like one of the ways they get you to get over these allergies. And a lot of people here in Texas do the cedar one, the mole. There's a bunch of other ones. And it's all like, it seems like a lot of it's tree related, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's being done right now. People do that right now. When do you ship your items, and does your day follow the same schedule? Pretty much my day during the week is it's trying to get to the same schedule, and I ship my items in the morning. Bobby Moon says, I've ever seen Labyrinth. It's an oldie but a goodie. Yes, I've seen Labyrinth. That is really, really good. I love that movie. My favorite movie in the whole wide world. If I have to look at my top 10 movies, like if I'm just gonna we'll go, okay, these are my top 10. I really enjoy these movies. I'll say like one. Okay, so let me just do top 5 because 10's too many, right? Denny Boyle made a film called Sunshine back in the day. Sunshine's really good. I like it. It's one of my favorite. Aliens, the second one, or should I say 1987? Aliens is really good. It's a Ridley Scott film. I like the Goonies. Goonies is one of my favorite films of all time. Movie I can watch over and over. Layer Cake. I really liked Layer Cake a lot. I thought it was really interesting. Story about a drug dealer and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I like that one a lot. And then the last one, like, heavily engaging movie that I thought was really, really good. It's a tough one. I don't know what that last one would be. Yeah, I don't know. It could be The Big Short or something like that. Like something that's just, or maybe Slumdog Millionaire, like another Danny Boyle film. So I like those a lot because you get kind of immersed in these films, and it's like you never see time pass, right? Yeah, there's also District 9, which was really, really good too. I like sci-fi a lot. So there was a really good question in here. Here's Michael Dang. Do I take my wife for sourcing? Yeah, she comes with me to Goodwills every now and then. Is she okay with this sort of business? At one point she wasn't, but she realizes I love it, so that's why she goes with it. And plus, I've built a business on the business. I built the green room, which is very important. And then I'm about to build another business on another business here pretty soon. So, as long as she's going, and I keep telling her, like, what I'm doing is I'm taking advantage of this time and the tools that are around us right now to literally like command your own lifestyle. And for people that are just sitting there like working 9 to 5s and being told what to do, there's nothing truly wrong with that. But I think for me, and she's feeling it a little bit right now too, that life is really precious and freedom is one of those things that you must earn. And so I keep telling her, like, look, before you decide to leave your job, like, start building something else. Build a YouTube channel. I don't care what it is. I'll film it. I'll help you. Doesn't matter if it's cooking, fitness, whatever. Let's just build it and get ready. Like, do it right. And then that way you might have an income stream that is controlled only by you and no one else can tell you what to do. And, hold all the videos in a hard drive somewhere to where if YouTube crashes, you can upload them straight up to somewhere else. Build a website behind it. So now you're not hedged off YouTube, or you can hedge yourself off YouTube. There's a lot of ways to do it, but you got to think really smart, because at any given time, anything can crumble. Your job can crumble, YouTube can crumble, merch can crumble, Amazon can crumble, eBay, something can outdo eBay. So you have to be thinking, like, how do I hedge all this? So, but the most important thing is to realize that life is really, really precious. And if you don't take a second to, like, really think about what you love, you might be living a life that is just not worth it, right? It just doesn't seem worth it anymore. You're just on repeat circles, and that's not fun. Joy Crane, what movie have I seen the most? Probably Goonies. If I could only pick one, chicken or steak. Chicken. There's a really good question up here from, oh man, there's such a good one. Here we go. All right. Corey Gooddry, how do I deal with trolls? I haven't launched YouTube because I don't want to deal with ass munches. Look, this Casey Neistat made a video about this 2 days ago. So you got to check that out. First of all, that's my first piece of advice. Second piece of advice is trolls are there because they want to bring you down. Trolls never want to see you do anything better than what the trolls do, because the trolls literally do nothing. And they're in their own circles and they're perpetuating their own, like, how do I say it? Their own actions and mannerisms and what they think is how life should be literally puts them in this place that they're in, right? They cannot escape, and they're not intelligent enough to realize that they're doing it to themselves, right? So if that's not you, and hopefully that's not you, you need to rise above, right? And realize, what do you want out of life? What do you want? It could be it could be riches, it could be notoriety, it can be motivation, gets, paid to speak like Tony Robbins, whatever you want. You can achieve all this kind of stuff, but with great sacrifice comes haters, right? You can sacrifice a lot of your life. People hate to see people outworking them. And I mean, people really don't like when someone does something good and tries to sell it back to them or something like that through a course or a product or something. It's just really odd. Like, it's very odd behavior, but expect it. That's one of the most important things to do, is expect that that's going to be there. And if you don't have haters and trolls, you're probably not doing anything right. So the haters and trolls come when the success is brewing. So just remember that. Go forward with your YouTube channel. Don't let anybody get you down. And if you need help in starting your YouTube channel, if it has reselling background or anything behind it, I'll get behind you and I will help you out. So think about that for a second. I'm dead honest about that. Like, if you're honest about making a YouTube channel and you want to succeed, I will back you and I will tell you, like, how I did it and where my mistakes were, and I will help you out as much as I can. Because nothing, and I don't ever show, like, nothing gets me more riled up than someone trying to take me down and realizing that I can outwork that person. That's important to me. So I know I don't want you to feel bad about it, but if you do need help, I will help you. Here's another one. Yeah, Aaron Kluge says disable comments and no trolls. You could do that, but then you kind of run away from things. So I think it's very important that, and a lot of times the trolls won't post things on comments because it takes one thing to say something behind scenes, and like with your avatar is just nobody. It's like a freaking blue head, That's what trolls love. Trolls will never tell you, like, where they live, how they really do things. They will never type out long-winded responses because they know that an army of, like, positive-minded people are going to grill the absolute crap out of them. So, that's what you won't see trolls doing. Trolls will talk behind your back, and trolls will do things in other groups and stuff, and you'll hear word of those things from other friends of yours. But it's just not that. Stopping something brilliant because there might be trolls is an absolute sin. Like, because if you're sitting there like, I'm scared to go forward because people might, like, troll on me or whatever, that's not good. So this is no different than a kid that wants to go to school but doesn't want to because someone's going to kick his ass, right, or take his lunch. Like, school is important, education is important, right? So go forward, do things, and if trolls come, then I would never address them. And second of all, yeah, just do the right thing. If you keep doing the right thing, the trolls are going to find out someone else, because they realize that if you don't show the weakness, they don't come after you anymore. That's just what happens. And you will never see me engaging with trolls ever. 80s likes my man. Okay, cheddar attracts trolls. Yeah, it does. Money does attract a lot of weird people. Okay, so I think we got 80 likes. Let's go. Let's get the tuna out, guys. You guys ready for the tuna? Let's get the tuna out. I showed it on one of my other videos. Like, I'll show you the tuna now. You guys can see my tuna. It's a big tuna, huge tuna. You wouldn't expect anything else from Bonafide Hustler. Check this out. Oh man, that is one big ass tuna. Like, its freaking tail's not even fitting into the entire picture. That is one huge tuna. So anyway, yeah, that's the tuna. Someone gave me the idea of putting this in my booth. I could probably put it for a really high price before I decide where I want it in my house. Of course, my wife's going to be like, are you out of your mind? And I will say, yes, I am. There's a tuna on my wall. So, but I'm also the kind of person like, yeah, if I can get $100, I don't know if I want a tuna on my wall if it's $100 in my pocket. So I might put it in my booth while I make that decision. You guys think I could get $100 for this in an antique booth? It's a pretty highly detailed tuna. Like, I bet you if you put this in the water, like deep sea somewhere, and you know, I bet you someone would be like, holy crap, there's a tuna. You know, like, it's pretty good. I mean, it would fool me. So $250. Wow. It's not taxidermy. It's just it's not even paper mache. I don't know what kind of thing this is made out of. It's not real. Look, it's not real. Like, I mean, it's clearly not a real tuna, but it's just really not a real tuna. I don't know how. It's just intensely detailed. So yeah. Is it a bonito? I think this is a tuna. It looks like a tuna. Is this a tuna, guys? Someone says it's a bonito. Is that a tuna also? I don't know. It's a black and yellow fin tuna, tuna. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it's a big katuna. Where did I get it? I got it at a garage, a street sale, like a street sale that was on the side of a street. And this whole like avenue of stores in Austin, Texas last weekend was just like putting their stuff outside. So I ran up on this one store and I bought a Metallica shirt. I bought a tuna. I bought a deer head, and I bought another shirt that was like a Charlotte Hornets vintage shirt, more retro. I don't know if I can say vintage now. But yeah, I got this tuna. Why am I so proud about this tuna? I don't know. Like, I really like it. So maybe I'll feed creatine to my tuna and get it even bigger. Yeah, that's my tuna. All right, so maybe we should keep the tuna. You guys got to tell me, like, if I get enough, like, hey, keep the tuna, keep the tuna, keep the tuna, keep the tuna, I will keep the tuna. All right, I will. I swear I will. Someone that's obsessed with tuna will definitely buy it. That's from Glitter. Glitter's better. I like that name. $79.99 for the tuna. $100, no problem. Bobby Moons. You can get 100 easily. Falcon Eddie. Yeah, that's what. Someone called the fish police because Bonafide killed it. Yeah, I like that tuna. It's a tuna, right? Like, you guys got me all freaked out. Someone has me freaked out that it's not a tuna. It could be a bonita. What is a bonita? Is that a tuna or not? Joy Crane says put it above the poster. I could. Could you guys even see that? See, I want to make sure you guys can see it. There's no sense in putting a tuna on your house if no one else is going to see it and talk about it. Like, you got to put the tuna in the most talked location. I have YouTube videos here, so the tuna would be like, hell yeah, like, that's Bonafide's tuna. But if I put the tuna in like my upstairs loft or something like that, nobody's going to see it. It's like senseless to have a tuna in a loft, right? Keep it. Do I think Clear and Clutter for Clarity says, I think you just like saying tuna. No, I mean, I eat tuna. I like tuna. I think it's a really nice looking fish. So yeah, maybe I'll put it up. And it has like the hanging things on the back of it too. So like the tuna is like ready to be like hung, right? Heather Reynolds, thanks for the great information. Yeah, the last part of the show is like my movies and my obsession with the tuna. Like, I don't know if you're talking about that info. Hopefully you're not, because that's not that great. But like, yeah, the first part of the show was good. Okay, so one last question. 109 viewers, 83 up votes, 3 down votes. Do me a favor, hit the like button. But let's get one more question in there, okay? Let's get one more question. Maybe 2 more questions that are not tuna related, not movie related. It could be life related or it could be hustle related. Just let me know. And yes, Falcon Eddie says it really doesn't matter. You can still get $100 for that thing, so that's good. So it really doesn't matter if it's a tuna or not a tuna. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so Bonafide Hustler, most famous person you've ever met. I would think I've been around famous people. Like, I've just seen them. You know, it's Austin, Texas. Like, you see famous people all the time. But I've never met. Probably Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters outside of the Four Seasons. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. And then another famous person, he's pretty famous, but Bert Kreischer, who runs Trip Flip. He's a professional comedian. He also runs the Birdcast podcast. But yeah, he's the host of Trip Flip on Travel Channel. I got to spend a week with him in Puerto Rico and get filmed for the Travel Channel. So he's pretty famous, I guess. He's like best friends with Joe Rogan and everything. So that was pretty interesting, a week around that guy. If you ever get a chance to spend a week around a professional comedian and you're in a distant island getting filmed by Travel Channel people, that was pretty neat. I'll never complain about that. And yeah, I didn't pay a single cent for that trip too, which was amazing. Me and my girlfriend at that time, which was my wife now, went on that trip, and yeah, it was the easiest trip to win ever. Teaming the Tuna needs his own YouTube channel. On my next actual show, we're gonna name the Tuna. We're gonna have to name him. Okay, so very important. Sierra Estate Liquidator says, "Hey, I'm Puerto Rican." Yeah, when I went out there with the show and everything like that, we went to all this other different stuff that I don't think a lot of tourists go to. But we went to rainforests. We did the world's longest zip line thing, or the second longest zip line in the world. We went to Old San Juan. We found illegal drinks at a bar. We were on the hunt for that. All these things that the Travel Channel had built up, they were just like off the beaten path stuff. It was pretty cool. So anyway, what do we got? Oh, wow. Whoa, interesting name. So let's talk about the last question. Let's get one more question in there, and then I'll get out. I don't feel good closing the show out the way it is right now, but let's close the show out with a good strong question. How to get branded. There was a good question earlier, like how to start a brand. Look, I'm no expert at this, okay? I'm not an expert at this, but I'm literally like right now creating a brand. In fact, today was the day where my final tax documents and all this stuff came forward, my EIN, my state sales tax permit, all this stuff, all came through today, got approved. I got the name that I wanted for my LLC. And today is the day where the next step of building my brand actually occurred. So I am building up a brand that is going to be primarily fueled through YouTube videos and Instagram posts. It's going to deal with a lot more active lifestyle type stuff. And it's going to be very, very interesting. So I decided before I embark on that mission, I'm dead on, like, serious about going down this road, and I want to, and I'm going to show everyone in the green like how I do it. But it's important that if you know that your destiny is somewhere up there and you realize like that's where I'm headed, like it's important to get all your ducks in a row. Like my next thing probably in a week or two is to go to the bank, open up an account or two, and get transactions flowing through to where maybe I can get loans one day, and they can issue me business credit eventually and all that kind of stuff. So that's important. That has to be done soon too. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, how do I build a brand? You have to be behind it. I mean, or you have to have a good crew around you that believes in the same central thing. But a brand can be built in so many different ways. I mean, it just depends on what your thing is. Are you going to be the point person behind it? Are you going to have a marketing crew behind it? Is it even a viable thing right now? How much competition's around it? Does it look like it might be a cash cow, or is it going to get a whole lot of competition like immediately? So before you build a brand, it has to be something. When I build a brand, like I don't want sitting there going like, oh, it's just for a year or two. I'm doing for something that's like, okay, I can grow into this like 5 years, 10 years, and maybe it gets bought out by someone really awesome one day. But I want to get behind it because I truly believe in it. And when you guys figure out what this brand is, there are not many people that know what it is, first of all. No one in the green room knows, besides Raken and Eric, and graphic designer know about it too. My wife knows about it, some of my neighbors, but outside of that in YouTube land, no one knows about it. But there's going to be an intense amount of feeling and commitment and personal experience behind this brand to where it's going to embody something. So I can't tell you very much right now, but like the essence of the brand is something that I live like all the time. And so you'll see it soon. Don't worry about it. We're trying to get the logo finalized, and it's taking forever. So Bobby Moons is, what is your end goal, or do I have one? My end goal, truthfully, is to, and this can be either on the California coastline or it can be in not a deserted island. I don't want to be in a deserted island, but it could be in an island somewhere, right? But what's my end goal? My end goal is to be able to surf nearly every day and run a business from a laptop. That's really my end goal, and to be able to impact as many people as I can while not really being in a place that I might not want to be, right? So, thinking laptop, awesome setup at the house, not a crazy big house or anything. I don't need that, right? But I want to be realizing, like, I want to be in the water a lot. I really like to surf. Like, surfing is a lot of fun. And so my wife and I were talking about this the other day, like, what islands can we move to where she could be happy, I could be happy. And so we're talking about that. I don't know if it's going to happen, But never know, just know you have one life. I mean, sometimes you just have to go with it and never know. You might see bona fide rent his house out and then all of a sudden I'm somewhere else. So we are visiting one island this year, or a place this year that has good surf and all that kind of stuff, and never know. So we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, it's just it's the God honest truth. I want to be able to impact a whole lot of people and get rewarded for it and have a lot of people support me and for them to have been helped by me somehow, whether it be hustling or fitness or workout related. You can kind of see where this is going. So I don't want to just sit there and drain people's wallets without them getting some sort of emotion behind it or confidence behind what they've spent their money for in some way. I want my stuff to change them. So, yeah. Anyway, so I think that's okay. So that's the last question I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna probably do a interesting ab workout live on my other channel pretty soon. So go check that out. Bod Dam, BODDAMN. Go subscribe to it. And Jason says England is a nice island. Water is not so clever though. Yeah, it has to be something that I can surf at every single day. So not too long ago, I guess last year, or maybe the year before that, I can't remember anymore. I went to Hawaii, and I went in the winter of Austin, Texas, like around February or something like that. And I go there, and they're like, "Yeah, this is like the summer here." I was like, "Oh no, I think it was the winter in Hawaii too." And the winter in Hawaii was like phenomenal. It was so amazing. Like everyone's just surfing in the water and getting out. Like nobody has any long sleeves or anything like that. It was just an amazing experience. Now, granted, it's a very discovered kind of place. It's extremely expensive to live there. It's certainly goals, like when most people will be like, that's goals right there. And it really is kind of goals. You get kind of like that city life, but then you can get away from it so fast and be in the water, surfing. And so that's a lot of fun to me. And I urge anyone out there who has never done surfing, because my friend that moved there it was the friend that I stayed with, but he moved there from Austin, Texas. And I remember telling him 5 or 6 years ago, right? I was like, dude, have you ever surfed before? And he was like, no. I was like, bro, I'm telling you, like, it's the best thing in the whole entire world ever, like ever. And we have a lot of commonalities, like radio controlled planes, drones, helis, whatever, and water life and wakeboarding and all that kind of stuff. And we have mountain biking. So I know he's capable. And he was like, oh yeah, okay. In passing, we would talk about surfing, how amazing it was, how I couldn't wait to go to California every year and surf. And he was like, okay. And then come to find out, like 2 years ago, he decides to move to Hawaii, right? And which is amazing, because when he was there, it didn't take very long, but he was texting me like, oh my God, like I just learned how to surf. You're so right. Like this is the best thing. It's the best thing in the entire world. And then I touched base with him just the other day because I just watched a surf film, and he was like, oh my God, I'm so good at surfing now. Like this is the best thing in the whole entire world. So like 2 years have elapsed, and he's still like, oh my God, that's the best thing in the whole entire world. So think about it for a second. He lives on Maui. It's just from one person to another. Like, don't let your life pass you by before you try something like surfing. Like surfing is amazing. So anyway, that's pretty much it. All right. So guys, I'm pretty much done here with the show. Lots of people are helping me out here with like places to move to and naming the tuna. We'll get the tuna name maybe on the next show. Stay tuned for tonight. Raken's channel. All right. So Raken Profit has a channel on YouTube. No duh. But tonight there's a green room show, right? And we're going to be introducing a green room member who's 24 years old that I think cleared 23 grand last month on Amazon or something like that. And he's a pretty good hustler. So you definitely want to go check out that show. That's tonight, 7 o'clock Central Time. It'd be 8 o'clock Eastern. And I will see you there next. All right. So take it easy, guys. Thank you so much. Good to see you guys. Bye-bye.